Welcome to Moms Who Grind Presents Intimate Conversation Series. This series is going to take you on a journey with mompreneurs showing the ins and outs of motherhood, balancing, raising our babies. And our today's guest is Nicole. She is a stylist, a creator. She's also the new style editor for Floss Magazine. And tell everybody a little bit about yourself. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. So, hi. As Miss Relisha Monet told you, I am a stylist and curator. I'm more of a fashion aficionado in the sense that I feel like I'm a jack of all trades in fashion. I've been in almost every realm, but styling is my main function, and I now am the style editor of Floss Magazine, which I'm super excited about.
Yes, congratulations.
So, thank you.
Yes.
So, just continue to build the brand and to build upon the foundation that I started, which was freelance styling.
Okay. So tell everybody a little bit about your background, how you got into styling. I know that you have your own collection. The Sonette Nicole Season 2 is the current collection that's out.
To start from the first question, I've been styling since forever, like since I was younger, just unofficially styling friends, curating looks for them, for prom, this, that, whatever have you. And one day, my dad he was a writer and producer for some recording artists that were coming up and trying to get packaged. And so he came up with the idea to let me style a whole video shoot by myself just to see how serious I was about fashion. And so I connected with some freelance designers, emergent designers that I knew from where I was from. I'm from Harlem. And they told me they would bring me the pieces the morning of. So long story short, they flaked. No one ever showed up with any pieces. I freaked out. Wow. But I had a big bag of materials and things that you use to style, like an unofficial styling kit. And so what I did was I went to the video shoot, told my dad what was going on, and he's like, well, what are you going to do? And I'm like, I'm going to figure it out. So what I did was I took all the fabrics and materials and pins and things that I had in my bag and literally curated and created looks for all the video models on set, including the actual artists. And no one could ever tell to this day, and that was years and years ago. I was 19 at the time. Okay. And so at that point, once I found myself wrapping and immersing models into fabric and literally pinning things together to create an actual ensemble, I knew this is what I'm meant to do.
Okay.
So
how would you define Sonette Nicole? Like your collection, your brand, yourself, what in a fashion sense?
Well, the Sonette Nicole brand, so to speak, is not only just wardrobe styling, curation, image consulting, but I do have a capsule collection of where some is hand painted, some is print.
Right.
And so that just honestly was a really haphazard thing. It wasn't always planned, so to speak. I actually just hand paint things for myself and curate things for myself all the time and post them on social media. And so the season 1 capsule collection derived from that. I was going to a Jay-Z concert. 444 was the album. I'm a huge Jay-Z fan. Yes. So instead of just...
Sean Corey Carter, we know.
Yes. Love him. So since I was a kid, so instead of buying something from a store, I'm like, let me just do something. So I had some White House paint just sitting there, and I had a black t-shirt dress, and I painted his lyrics on the shirt and wore it as a dress with some distressed thigh-high boots and just posted up a picture at the concert. Everyone's like, oh my God, I want one. And so it just was ding.
Right. And that's actually what you're wearing now,
Yeah, so this is the print version of the shirt, and the letters are raised to look like the paint.
Right.
So this is what my actual handwriting looked like, but this is just a printed version that we use for pop-ups as well as for the collection that was exclusively sold in the bakery.
Okay.
And so my capsule collections usually run from 60 to 90 days.
Okay.
Luckily for me, I was blessed enough to, within 2 weeks, sell the whole collection out.
Wow, that's amazing. So do you have a new collection coming out now?
So season 2 is out now. Season 3 is in progress. Season 2 this year was just focused on Harlem, where I'm from. I feel like I get a lot of my creative zhuzh from Harlem, from the environment and just all of that it encompasses, the Harlem Renaissance, this, that, and the third. And so I'm so inspired by Harlem. So I have a series of hand-painted denim jackets, which is an homage to Harlem, and the quote is, God is from Harlem. And so those are going very well as well. And a pop-up we will have for that next month, October.
Ooh, exciting. Well, you definitely have to keep us posted so we can come out and cover the event.
Yes.
Now, Moms Who Grind is all about balancing, motherhood, babies, being a mompreneur. So you are a mom.
Yes.
You have a daughter.
Yes.
And how old is your daughter?
She's 8. She'll be 9.
So as far as a mother and running a business, how do you think that you influence your daughter? And, do you think that she looks up to you? Does she, want to follow in your tracks? Does she wants to be a stylist? So tell us a little bit about that, your motherhood and, how those things combine together.
Well, I feel like... my daughter is like the best thing that's ever happened to me. And although we know as moms, nothing comes easy. Motherhood is not easy. I always say it's the most rewarding job, but also the hardest job you'll ever do because you're responsible for a human life, not only just sustaining them, physically or, health-wise or just feeding and clothing them, but you're literally responsible for the way in which they see the world and what their perception is and what kind of person they become. And so it's very important to me to take my daughter on shoots and to have her come to my events and just to show her the process of what it takes to be an entrepreneur. I think that she has caught the entrepreneurial bug. She's already trying to design her own bows and things like that. She's very much into acting, so she's already a very creative person. She loves the arts. So I would say that she does get that from me. Hopefully she'll carry on with that. And whatever career path she goes in, she doesn't necessarily have to be an entrepreneur, but I do want to motivate her to know that she can rise above any of her circumstances and that anything literally is possible if you have the resilience and perseverance to do so.
Definitely.
So that's just basically what, at the base of it, what I'm trying to teach her. And also just to create generational wealth for her so that she'll have multiple streams of income to pursue her dreams.
No, I definitely agree. Like my daughters, they're small, they're toddlers, but we already sit down and we talk about businesses, things they want to start, what they like, what they're into, and they actually give me feedback. They're really they're really in tune with what I do. And even with this, they're like, "Where are you going, Mom? You're going to Moms Who Grind today?" And they're so funny. They see my business card, they give my business cards out for me.
My daughter too, she's like my marketing director. She's always reminding me to give my business cards out. She has some in her little purse when we go out. Like she's very much all about the business and she's really excited about it. And I love that. And I think it's very important, especially as mothers of color, just parents of color, that we instill that drive within our kids very early on because other cultures do.
So how do you maintain balance between business and motherhood? And I don't know if you work, but it's just in general, just life in general. We live in New York City. It's busy, it's fast paced, there's always things going on. I'm sure being in the fashion industry, you are constantly on demand. So what advice would you give to another mother watching this now, or somebody maybe aspiring to do what you do or something similar?
I would say balance is not easy. It's something that you must practice day after day after day. I would say definitely always give yourself gaps of time to have some self-care because you can't run on no fuel. You know what I mean? So always, always, always practice self-care as much as you can. I'm a list a based person, so I like to write to-do lists every day and kind of just go along that line. My motto is I do as much as I can with the time that I'm given, but nothing becomes before my child. So I pretty much operate around whatever her schedule is, school-wise and extracurricular activities, and that is how I plan my calendar for my clients and things like that. So
no, I pretty much agree. I think that my life, for the most part, I work around the clock for my kids.
The kids.
So whatever it is that they have to do, whatever obligations as far as school comes, or PTA or parent engagements, things of that nature, I definitely try to be as involved as possible. I think for me, my biggest thing has been establishing a support system and finding support, not necessarily looking for support from people who I expected it from, being open to receive people. With your kids, everybody's so it's so many things, and we do live in a very dangerous world now.
Absolutely.
But also having to be able to establish that trust factor. I think I meet a lot of women and even a lot of my close friends, and they haven't reached the point where they're able to really branch out, but it's they're holding on so tight, but it's also suppressing them at the same time. So I think,
I can identify with that.
And me too.
That's a struggle that I've worked through, and I'm still working through. Like you said, you cannot trust everyone with their kids. We live in a crazy world. But like you said, just being open to a new village. You may have had this perception in your head of who was in your village, and they may not be able to accommodate your needs, but it doesn't mean that we as women can't come together and kind of find a new system, that works.
And I don't know about you, but I feel like even before having kids, just taking the step and that, like, you know, reaching and stepping out on faith and being an entrepreneur and just kind of being like, you know, this is the route that I want to take and pursuing that and putting your all, you don't always get a lot of support. So once you have a kid, people look at you like, well, you're a mom now or you're a parent now, because this can be pertaining to fathers too. And they're like, well, you need to have that security. You need to have money or income coming in. And it can be scary. It definitely can be very scary. And this where the village comes in, the support.
Absolutely.
Because you need people who are going to push you regardless. You need people who are, you know, they may be willing to take a risk on you. There's somebody who can say, hey, just leave the baby here. Go out, do your thing. Because like even like right now we're in the midst of Fashion Week, and without my village, without support, it's no way I would have been able to run around going to shows. And shows are around the clock. Like if you've never been to a New York Fashion Week.
There was just a 9 a.m. before we got here. So that is very much important. And like I was said, like we were saying, the whole scheduling around the children. You and I would go to the morning shows and maybe forfeit some of the afternoon shows because we have to get the kids. But at least we'd be able to be in the midst of our profession and be able to do the networking anyway. So there are ways around, you know, you might not get to everything, but as long as you're consistent and you're in the field or in the realm, you know, of where you need to be to elevate yourself, then it's fine, you know, and don't beat yourself up, because we as mothers, as women, as mompreneurs, as you would say, we beat ourselves up a lot. We're very hard on ourselves if we can't do everything all the time. You're not going to be perfect at every part of your life every day. Like it's impossible. And it's okay. And the kids understand if you're tired, and you know, I'm sure your team or whomever you work with in your field will be okay as well, as long as you communicate and you're transparent, you know, and you give full disclosure, which is important too, just to be upfront, you know. So
for me, it's like simple things of, you know, I cook mostly every day, but some days it's like a quick meal where I'm like, I'm not sitting here and I'm not going to make a whole feast. We're going to get whatever it is going to be tonight.
And the world's not going to end.
That's fine. And a lot of the time, my kids like the quick meals better than if I make like hamburger helper. They're like, "Oh my God, mommy, this is delicious." I'm like, "I just made a feast last night."
And you're going all out, and it's like, "Yeah, that was cool, but I don't really care."
They weren't even excited about it. So definitely, to take it to shift the conversation a little bit. So just in general, what tips would you give to an entrepreneur? Actually, better yet, what has been your biggest 3 struggles with being an entrepreneur?
I would say the stepping out part without the security blanket is definitely one of the biggest struggles that I identify with. I would say being able to have the support system that I need to feel comfortable enough to step out, you know, as it pertains to my child and her well-being. And I would also say resources. Resources in the sense, in my particular field in fashion, it is not a what you know business, it's a who you know business. And if you don't know the parties to get you into the showrooms to get the pieces, or you don't have those relationships, then you don't get the resources you need to execute whatever your fashion goal is, as far as shoots and things of that nature, or appeasing your clientele. But I would say that has a lot to do with being able to have the leisure time to make those connections to do that. It's definitely a who you know.
And to go off a little bit what you're saying, if you know, for any entrepreneurs that are watching this and listening, networking. You can never network enough. Like,
and you never know, and you might find someone.
Here we are afforded so many free events. So for people, like I tell people all the time that I always have this joke. Like I have a lot of friends or people that they don't have kids yet. So I'm like, live your best kid-free life.
It's important to get that all out, because by the time you have kids, then your life changes. Your life completely changes, and you must devote time to being a parent. And so you don't want to. It doesn't mean just because you're a parent that you're dead and you have to give up on your dreams. You can still pursue them, but it's all about strategy at that point.
And balance. And you want to do things that make sense, because
it make sense.
You want to move strategically, because if I'm going to take away from time from my family and being at home, I want to be out and I want to be beneficial.
Make it make sense.
But never... Like, I just want people to understand that, never kind of discouraged, because I think I meet a lot of people, and especially with the social media world we live in, everybody wants to be a who's who, who's important, and they may discredit certain things. Like if there's a free event or a person who may come to you to barter, and they're like, well, I don't want to do that because, you know, it's free per se, or I don't want to go to this because this is not necessarily an exclusive type of thing. And you have to talk to everybody. You never know who's who. When I go out to events, I work a room. So I start from the bartender to the person wiping the tables, and everybody
and you
in
never
between.
know who knows who, or who's affiliated with who, or who was placed a certain place to see how people engage or interact with them. So that's very important. My mother told me from way young, you treat the CEO with the same respect as you treat the janitor. You treat everybody the same. You don't know where someone's going to be later, and when you're at, when you're in the beginning stages of your career, you don't want anyone treating you less than because you haven't achieved a certain status.
Right, exactly.
It's just genuine respect, and it's very much good karma. You never want to treat anybody a way that you wouldn't want to be treated. You know what I mean?
Right.
It doesn't. Exclusivity has nothing to do with someone's soul or who they are as a person. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
And so if you have integrity, about your brand or whatever it is that you're doing in the industry, then you would want to make sure that when people think of you, they know that you're genuine, that you come across respectful, that you're cordial, that you're compassionate and things of that nature. You never want to feel too hoity-toity, you know, because you never know where you might end up.
Right. So if you can describe yourself in 3 words, what would be those 3 words?
Ooh, that's hard. And I've been asked this a lot too, and it's always hard. I would say I'm an experience, first of all, because I think that encompasses so much in that.
Right.
So an experience. To know me is to love me, but I'm not. You don't just meet me; you experience me.
Right.
I would say I'm an experience. I would say I am resilient, because I've had lots of trials and tribulations and hurdles, beyond my control, personal things.
Right.
And I never give up on my dream, and I always find a way to incorporate it in whatever my circumstances are.
Right.
So I would say I exuded resilience. And I would say, I'm quite captivating. Or some would say. Yeah, some would say.
Okay, so now a little twist on that. If you can describe your household, you and your daughter's dynamic in 3 words, what would it be?
Lord. I would say it's definitely animated, because my daughter is an aspiring actress, and she's animated from 5 a.m. till she goes to sleep. So it's definitely a lot of animation. It's almost like a TV show without an actual camera, literally. Every day. So I don't need more kids, because she's like 5 kids in one. So.
She got personality. She switches it up.
Yes.
Hi, mommy.
Never
Hi,
a dull
mommy.
moment.
Hi,
we have
mommy.
kitchen concerts. We have a good time. So, so I would say definitely animated. I would say vibrant.
Okay.
And I would say, I would say inspiring, because she probably doesn't know this, or I probably have told her this, but in the same way that she tells me, "Oh, Mom, I look up to you. You're like my, my hero," and she writes papers about me now that she can, write and stuff, like write little essays. She wrote something about me and things of that nature. And so in a lot of ways, she's my hero, and she inspires me, because she's 8 years old. She's fearless. And she has all of my best character traits, like times 10,
Right.
So I would say that we, inspire and keep each other motivated.
I love that. That's so sweet. Like, see, my kids are now coming into that where we're starting to have full-on conversation and different things, and they're still just like, "Mommy, you're the best mom ever."
Yeah.
They're like at that stage.
Yeah,
so.
and it's so important though, because sometimes you don't have other people in your life to say that, So when you come home and your kids are like so excited to see you, or so uplifting, it kind of just puts it all into perspective, no matter what's going on.
Right, it definitely makes it
gives
all
you
worth
hope,
it.
and it gives you more. If nothing else, having a child will motivate you like no other to succeed.
Like, a big part of me creating this Moms Who Grind platform was for that reason. Because I think when I'm out and about and I meet a lot of women, or just day to day, women who probably never imagined that they can have a business, or that they can do other things besides what their life is now. And their question is like, "Well, how do you do it all? How do you do this?" And I'm just like, I just go. I get up every day, because whether you're a mom who's going to work, whether you're a stay-at-home mom, whether, whatever your lifestyle is as a mother, it's always a grind, no matter what. Getting up every day. Like, my daughter just started kindergarten, so now she's on a 6 a.m. schedule. So we were like spoiled from daycare. We had like door-to-door service. And then
now
last year it was pre-K. It was still like, 8:30. So now being up at 6 a.m, she's a big girl. She's getting on the bus. And she's transitioned. Like, she's doing so well. I think I don't give my kids enough credit.
Yeah.
Because I'm always freaking out. And she's like, bye, Mommy.
It's mostly us.
I'm a big girl.
Right. It's
Goodbye.
mostly us.
She's like, I'm a big girl. Goodbye, Mom. And I'm like, are you sure you're okay? And she's like, my friend's on the bus, Mom.
Like,
bye.
toodles, please.
Yeah, like,
leave me be.
You're embarrassing. Like, right, next year's going to be like, please don't get out the car.
No, let me tell you, that's coming soon, because my daughter's in the 4th grade now, and she was like, she gave me such a hard time to like take one photo, and she's like, high anxiety, and she's like, Mom, okay, like I'm good, thank you. And I'm just like, what? Who are you now? So it starts early.
No, like literally this morning, today, it was my daughter's birthday was 2 days ago. She goes to a school, she wears uniform, so they get like once a month a dress down day.
Oh,
so
nice.
Since it was like her dress down for her birthday, I'm like all hype. I got her this cute outfit,
right?
And then she's like, I don't even want to wear this. So I'm like really going back and forth for her this morning. Like, what do you mean you don't want to wear this? Like, I was all hype. I picked out a cute outfit, and she just kind of was like, it's too early, Mommy.
It starts so early. It really does. Because I don't recall having that kind of like dialogue. Like even my daughter, like the kinds of words that she uses.
Yeah,
the kinds of words that she uses is just like insane. I literally think she's like, my mom come back. She's such an old soul. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, so funny. That's hilarious. So. Okay, so as far as what's forthcoming for the brand, for yourself, for your career, where do you see yourself within the next year, the next 3, the next 5? Like, what things do you have in store? What are your goals as far as the Sinette Nicole brand, yourself as a stylist?
I would like to elevate myself and my brand as high and as far as I can go. As far as in styling, my goals and aspirations are currently just to retain some more celebrity clientele, and to be able to do some styling for Fashion Week next season. Right. I've done some styling a few years back, so I want to get back into that as far as like styling for shows and doing being a part of the creative directing teams for major shows. So those are some of my styling aspirations. Also doing some editorial major shoots for Floss Magazine.
Yes, definitely.
In the coming future. So that would be definitely a goal. As far as me, I would love to just be Sinette Nicole, the household name, the fashion aficionado, the style maven, similar to a June Ambrose, similar to Andre Leon Talley, in the sense that they are not boxed into one particular realm of fashion, but they move around. They have their capsule collections. They do very much iconic. They do, they can do an editorial shoot. They can have their capsule collections. They can do red carpet corresponding, which is something I would like to do too. I would like to continue on doing some red carpet corresponding, things of that nature. I
definitely think you have the commentary for red carpet.
Yes,
I can
thanks.
See you there.
Definitely want to go back to radio.
Yes.
So that's also something that I'll be working on soon. And just doing a few style series as well, which was something that was brought to me and requested by some of my followers. So I'll be doing biannual style series where I'll have everyone come out and we'll do brunch and we'll do unlimited mimosas and bellinis, and we'll have swag bags and sponsors and music and all that cool stuff. But the basis will be a style tutorial, how to find your fashion voice, how to dress for your body type, for your skin tone, for your personality, for your profession, how to turn a day to a night look, how to turn one piece into 3 different looks. So I believe I'm like the queen of, as far as styling, of the remix. I can remix and make one piece look like 10 different things and wear it 10 times and you wouldn't even know unless you're really paying attention.
Right. No, because myself, definitely, I consider myself to be a fashionista. I love thrifting. I love a good find. Yeah. But now I'm past the stage of just buying something that's super cute because I want to wear it this one time. I'm like, how many wears can I get out of this?
Right. Well, we live in an age where people tell you, because we have social media, that you can only wear something one time. Right. And then you're not supposed to wear it again, which is absolutely ridiculous, because we as women, we spend buku money on our garments. So you can't tell me that I'm not going to wear my thing again. I'm just going to remix it, swag it out, zhuzh it up. Right. And you wouldn't even know the difference. And so I know that a lot of people struggle with that, and so I want to be able to help them. So I'm going to have
I think that's definitely a great
Nicole
aspect
style
of
series.
Making somebody feel like, because you shouldn't feel less than to wear your stuff over, because I'm going to wear it a bunch of times.
And that's what my stuff.
I have a favorite hat.
Yes, that's what my series is all about: finding your fashion voice and exuding the confidence that's necessary in order to carry on your ensembles. Because when you look good, you feel good. You know what I mean? That's half the battle.
So who would be your top 2 favorite people that you can style, if you can pick anybody?
You probably know one, because I believe we had this conversation most recently. Rihanna, obviously.
Oh, of course, Ree.
Obviously, like, do I need to explain
would
why?
You be crying the whole time?
Probably, like take some bathroom breaks and like, and then come back like super cool. Like,
but who wouldn't want to work with Rihanna? She's the ultimate.
She is. First of all, her show was ridiculous. So
I know
we'll talk about that later. But she encompasses all that is, and she didn't box herself into just a recording artist or a pop star. Right. You know, she's a mogul, and so I would be just inspired not only to style her, but just to be in her presence, you know, because of all that she's accomplished in the business. Right. And women nowadays are proving over and over again that you can have your hands in multiple pots and, you know, stew it up and multiple things come out. You don't have to box yourself into one realm. Right. So that's when I say style maven and fashion aficionado, I mean all things fashion girl.
Yes, definitely. You know? And building a brand. When you have a
brand and a legacy to leave.
Right. When you have a brand, though, you want to focus on different aspects.
Yeah.
And we live in such a age of transition and with the digital era, so it's things that you can now take and transition into a digital platform and, like you said, remix it all over again and now create new money. So it's bigger than just, you know, a style
and using
platform.
One income to fuel another dream. You know what I mean? Because I have so many, like I said, I have so many aspirations and dreams and things that I will put into fruition. So it's important to have your hands in multiple pots, because if one thing is booming, you could use those funds to infuse into something else.
Well, before we wrap it up in closing, I feel like as mothers, as women of color, it's very important for us, you know, to be representation. Mm-hmm. So what would you say to my daughters, to your daughter, to anybody's young daughter or son watching this right now, and they are looking to, you know, start their career, or, you know, they may be 10 years old, because I've met 10-year-old and they know, like, they're like, I want to do this. Yeah. And a lot of parents, I feel like they don't understand the importance of supporting your child's dream from a young age.
Absolutely.
Like, you know,
to nurture that.
School is very important. I'm not saying that it's not, but, you know, I personally feel like, because I've always kind of knew that I wanted to be something other than just go to work and, you know, just even with college, I didn't just want to go to college and stop there. So give some, you know, final words of encouragement and inspiration to the younger audience that may see this.
Well, I would say to the youngins, definitely it would be nice to have the support, but you don't necessarily need everyone to co-sign your dreams to pursue one. So never let the lack of support or the doubt of others stifle you or hinder you from pursuing the dreams within.
I would say that. Ooh, that's a nice closing piece.
I would say.
Well, I personally just want to thank you so much for taking your time to come and talk with us today. And I really appreciate you. And I can't wait to see what the future holds for you and the Sanette Nicole brand. Please tell everybody your links where they can find you on Instagram or social media platforms, so everybody can follow you and kind of, you know, follow this journey that you're about to be on. Yes.
Thank you for having me. I so appreciate it. It's amazing. You can find me on Instagram, Sanette.Nicole. So that's SANNETTE.NICOLE.
Okay, perfect. Well, this has been our first episode of Moms Who Grind Presents Intimate Conversations with our lovely guest again, Sanette Nicole. So make sure you guys follow her. And then for Moms Who Grind, you guys can follow us at momswhogrind.org, at Moms Who Grind on all social media platforms. And then you can also hit us up at momswhogrind@gmail.com. Y'all seen I just had like a moment. So that's Moms Who Grind, spelled, you know, the regular way, MOMSHWHOGRIND.org or .com. It'll both take you all to the site. Yes.
Fancy.
Well, I just got to make sure that they can find me
that's a great idea.
Possible.
Yeah.
So, again, this has been Intimate Conversations, and we appreciate you guys. And stay tuned for the rest of this series. This is your host, Felicia Gibson, and again, our lovely guest today, Sanette Nicole. Have a great day.